Hey traders, Akil Stokes here. Today's video, I want to talk about two things you need to know before ever getting involved in the trading market. All right, traders, Akil Stokes here, Chief Currency Analyst and Head Trading Coach over at TradingPower.com. And thank you once again for joining me for another Forex Weekend Review video. If you are one of the, close to 15,000 subscribers now that join me on a weekly basis, I just want to say I appreciate all of the love that you guys have been sending my way. There have been a lot of likes, a lot of shares, and a lot of positive comments left under my videos. I just want to say thank you guys. Keep up the good work. Every time you do one of those three things, like, comment, share, it allows my video to reach more and more traders, which means I can empower, motivate, and hopefully inspire more people each and every week. If you are new and this is your first time joining me, this is a weekly video I do talking about the Forex market and really trading in general. Now, my goal for these videos aren't to give you a super secret strategy that will allow you to make millions and millions of dollars as soon as you're done. That would be crazy. More so, my goal is, again, to empower you and hopefully give you a little bit more knowledge about how a professional looks at the market, the process that I go through, or that we go through, and really the in and out day-to-day battles that one must face if they want to become successful in this industry. Now, earlier, I teased you with two things every trader should know or every trader should do before taking a trade in the market. One is forming an opinion. The second is waiting for opportunity. Now, I want to take a quick second. I want you to take a quick second to ask yourself, before you fire off a trade, are you doing those two things? Are you, one, forming an opinion? Are you, two, waiting for the opportunity? Now, I talk to many traders, many struggling traders each and every day, and for the most part, either the trader is doing zero of those two things or they're doing one. They're finding an opportunity but not forming an overall opinion of the market, so their opportunity doesn't end up being a high probability one, or they're forming an opinion of the market and they're rushing into a trade, not waiting for that right opportunity. So it's very important to do both if you're looking to involve yourself in what we would consider the best of the best trading opportunities. And I'll give you an example of how I would do so on the dollar CAD, which is a pair we've been watching all week in the syndicate and of course in the live room. All right, so we're looking at the dollar Canada, and this is an idea that I shared with my syndicate members earlier in the week, and I even posted this on TradingView saying that I think we can go to $1.40. And the immediate response that I got when I put that out there was, well, Akil, should I buy now? What should I do? How can I get involved? And that goes back to the problem that a lot of traders have. Remember, there's two steps to this. We want to form an opinion, A, and we want to, B, wait for the opportunity. If you're just waiting for an opportunity, but you're not forming the opinion, how do you know that you're on the right side of the market? If you're forming an opinion and not waiting for the correct opportunity, how do you know that you're entering in the right place? How do you really have a consistent process to follow? And I want to show you guys really how I broke down the chart throughout the week. Now, if you're in the syndicate, if you're with me in the live room, this is going to be a little bit of a review, but hey, nothing wrong with more chart time. That just helps cut down on the learning curve. Now, I want to start off by taking a look at the weekly chart. And I rarely take a look at the weekly charts, guys. Even though I'm a swing trader, the highest time frame I typically look at is the daily before working my way down. But I wanted to take a look at the weekly because, as you see, if I zoom out, we have absolutely no structure looking left, right? We have a higher high, higher close. For you guys that know how to read a price chart, for you guys that know the new structure high, new structure low principles, this means that we're looking for trend continuation to the upside. So I want to see, where was our previous level of structure? And our previous level of structure here on the weeklies was at the 130.50 area, which you can see we've cleared back during the summer. For some of you guys that have been with me for a while, you remember we caught a pretty nice move on this as well, which was one of the only highlights of my summer, but it was a pretty decent trade. Now, the question I want to ask myself is, we've cleared previous structure highs. We've created a new structure high, higher close. Where is our next level of structure? Where is the next resistance level on this chart? And when I zoom back, I don't see another level of resistance all the way to about $1.40. Now, I didn't take the time to pinpoint the exact level because we're so far away that it doesn't matter right now. But we're looking at previous structure resistance right here around that $1.40 area, which is why I made the prediction that, hey, price action has room to roll. I mean, look at this, guys. There's absolutely nothing in the way. So when I go about forming my opinion on the market, I know that I want to be bullish. This is the same as that IPDE process that you've heard me talk about before. Identify, predict, decide, execute. I identify what the underlying trend is, bullish. I make a prediction on where we're likely to go, $1.40. And I also want to make a prediction. I like to split the prediction into two parts. I like to ask, where is the market likely to go and how is the market likely to get there? So the rest of the part, DE, is decide and execute. That's more of the waiting for the opportunity part. But the prediction part, back to that. So my prediction is that we're going to head up to $1.40. The question is, how are we going to get there? And typically, when we get a new structure high, that's going to be followed by a... We do this all the time in the live room where I leave it blank and I wait for them to type in. I gotta remember sometimes that you guys can't type in. You're watching this not live, but recorded. We're looking for an outside return. And the question is, where is that outside return likely to come to? Well, right here on the weekly, the only clear level is a retest of our structure lows right down here. This would be the optimal place to enter. You're going to have the least amount of risk and the most amount of reward. However, there probably are more places to get involved before that. And I started off by going down to the daily here. Now, a section that I identified on the daily, I ended up identifying two sections, but the main section that I identified on the daily came right here. Can any of you guys name these type of candles? Yep, these are called doji candles. Secondly, what do these candles mean? What does a doji candle represent? Correct, I hope. I'm assuming. Indecision in the market. Again, when you see these candles where the wick goes up, the wick goes down, and we basically close right where we open, this means indecision in the market. Picture it like a tug of war between the bulls and the bears. The bulls are pulling, the bears are pulling, the bulls are pulling, the bears are pulling. And when the whistle blows, the flag is right in the middle, and it's kind of like a draw. No one really wins. So because there was indecision at this moment in the past, it would not surprise me if there would be indecision in the future if price action came down here. So when I originally did my analysis, we were waiting for a price action to come inside this zone where we would start looking for an entry reason. And we have a whole trading plan that we can go through, that we created, that we can essentially flip through the plan and see, hey, what different ways am I allowed to use in order to enter this opportunity? However, before we got here, we had a very close move during the week, and I'm going to go all the way down to the hourly chart. And we identified another smaller level. Again, this was the main level I was watching down here. But as we analyzed this in the live room and went through our ebbs and flows, we saw this little outside return right there. And we said, you know what, guys, if price action, for you guys that are lower time frame traders, if price action came down to this zone, we may have ourselves a buying opportunity here. It's a very low risk one. If you can find a reason, if you can wait for that opportunity to get involved, you may have a buying reason, a buying opportunity right here at this level. And lo and behold, when we did our analysis, we saw this. We saw a potential bat pattern sitting down there. We saw an X to A. We saw an A to B. We saw a B to, where was it at the time? B to C at the time right here. And we're looking for a decompletion right down at our 886 for a chance to buy up the dollar CAD. Yep. Unfortunately, as you can see, price action came a little bit shy of that. It actually came about 3 pips before my entry, before shooting back up. So it wasn't anything that we were able to take advantage of, but it's a perfect example of, again, forming that underlying opinion, forming that opinion of what the market's likely to do, and then waiting, instead of just rushing into a trade, waiting for that opportunity, going through that trading plan, seeing how you can, or what you can use to involve yourself in the trade, and then waiting for that to happen. Again, wish I could have gave you a weekend review where I said, hey, we got involved and we're up 100 pips now. But the reality of trading is, guess what? You're going to miss sometimes. But it doesn't take away from your analysis. For those of you that were not able to get involved, guess what? You tap yourself on the back because the market did what you expected it to do. Unfortunately, you just weren't able to hop on the bus. The bus left a little bit too early, but that's fine. But hopefully this provides a good example of using those two things, forming an opinion, waiting for an opportunity, and really going through that IPDE process. Lastly, I want to address a question that I got on TradingView about next week's interest rate decision. And this falls directly into the topic of this week's video on, again, forming an opinion and waiting for an opportunity. Many traders out there will form an opinion on the market based on fundamentals. Now, if you're a 100% fundamental trader, that's fine. But if you're going to be using technical analysis as your normal trading strategy or your normal trading tool, you need to leave those fundamentals aside because it's a completely different game. Unless you're a longer term investor and you're using technicals to kind of pinpoint and back up your fundamental bias, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble. Many traders think it's as easy as a good number means a good reaction, and that's just not the truth. Again, on the 16th, we're hearing all these rumors about there's going to be an interest rate hike. We've been talking about it all year. We've been talking about it even in the last year. Well, guess what? Smart money, the smart traders, they're already involved in that move. They have already priced that into the market. Smart money, they're not the last ones in, guys. Retail traders, rookie traders, those are the last ones in the market. You guys are the ones that get burnt, not them. So you want to be careful. Just because we hike rates, let's say, which should be a positive for the dollar, doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see a positive reaction. We've seen this with Kiwi in the past. We've seen this with many currency pairs in the past. Right? What do they call it? What's the old saying? Buy the rumor, sell the news, or something like that. So be very careful. You don't want to form that opinion and get locked into a confirmation bias. And instead of waiting for that opportunity, you're gun-ho and you just fire it off right away and turn it more into a gamble. You're hoping and praying that you catch that 1,000-pip move in your direction. And it's great if you do, but it's worse if you don't because you can easily blow an account. You guys have seen the article of the E-Trade guy that started to GoFundMe to, because he had to cash in his wife's 401k for all the money he lost in the stock market. He's not the only person that has happened to. Be smart, guys. Don't turn it into a gamble. So my opinion is I don't know what the market's going to do. I think this has been priced in for a while. It's no surprise. They've been talking about it. I don't necessarily think we're going to see a big bullish reaction if they do increase rates. I actually think we would probably see some type of negative reaction. We'll see some selling in the market. Who knows? I'm going to be out of the market. That's what really matters. I'm not going to be involved because I don't know. I don't have an edge in that type of situation. I don't really have, I have an opinion on it, but I don't have an opportunity to trade during that type of news. So I'm going to sit on the sidelines, going to pop some popcorn and watch the show. So I hope that answers your question. I forgot who it was, but I almost forgot. I remembered to address it for you. But that goes hand in hand with, again, the two things we need when we're looking for trading opportunities. We're looking to form an opinion, and then we're looking to wait for an opportunity that meets the rules that are in our trading plan. Now, before you guys duck out early, I want to encourage that you stay until the very end of this video as I share with you a pretty intense rant that I went on in the live room today. About goal setting, motivation, stuff like that. But before I do, I want to ask you this favor one more time, guys. Please hit that like button, hit that share button, leave me a comment every time you do so. Again, YouTube likes it. Even for you guys that leave negative comments, keep them coming. YouTube likes them, and the more YouTube likes it, the more they like to share my video. The more they like to share my video, the more traders I can impact. And again, aside from just trading, guys, I'm really getting back to my roots of just motivational speaking, talking about success, trying to be an inspiration to you guys out there, trying to be that little kick in the rear that gets you fired up each morning so you can go out there and win the day. So the more people I can touch, the more my message is spread, the more they spread that message to some of their friends, and hopefully just creates a circle of success where we can all get better. So that's a big help. Every time you like, every time you share, every time you comment, and of course, if you're new and you like this sort of thing, every time you subscribe as well. So I appreciate you guys joining me. I'll go ahead and run the clip from the live room, and I'll see you guys next week for another weekend review video. If your goal is so easily reached, are you really going to work so hard to get it? Right? If your goal is that easy, it can easily be achieved, how hard are you going to work to get that goal? Probably not that hard. You're going to work just hard enough, right? But if you shoot for this massive size goal, this massive amount of income, massive, home, right? You're going to try so hard and do everything possible to reach that goal. And guess what? Even if you come up short, you're probably going to overachieve on what you would have been shooting for your smaller goal. Does that make sense? Maybe you don't make $100 million a year. You only end up making $1 million. Well, that's better than the 100,000 you were shooting for in your small goal. Yeah. Shoot for big, insane goals. Shoot for goals that are going to have family members and friends looking at you like, oh, you're crazy, man. Shoot for the goals where you have people, are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you want to have a goal of owning 10 Teslas? Wouldn't you rather own one Honda Civic? No, I want 10 Teslas. I want them just because you don't think I can get them. Some business coaches talk about big, hairy, audacious. Yeah, man, make them as big and hairy as possible. Why not? What's the doubt? There's a goal is like a risk-free trade, guys. What if I told you can place a trade that may go 1,000 pips up, but couldn't go against you? Would you take it? Probably, right? There's no risk. There's no risk in setting the goal. If you guess what? If you don't reach the goal, you probably still, I don't want to use the word fail, but you probably still end up in the positive as long as you're working towards that right direction. You're still going somewhere. And we all know about the Kaizen philosophy, right? As long as you're moving forward, that's you're doing something good. As long as you're moving in the right direction. It's the people that are stagnant, the people that aren't moving at all, the people that are moving backwards. That's where you get in trouble, when you don't have any goals. When you're just sitting there waiting for life to blow the wind sail on your boat. You're just floating in the middle of the ocean, waiting for a wind gust to happen and take you to this magical island. Put your paddle in the water and start paddling, man. Make your own decision. Take your own boat somewhere. Take control. Get off your butt, put your paddle in the water, and start pushing yourself towards that island. Come on, man. Take control of your life. Don't sit back and wait for someone else to do it. Man, I hate seeing people like that. And those are the same must be nice people, guys. I got some friends like that. Those are the same people where you get friends that come over your house and they see your setup and they see your computer system and your microphone and the size of your house, and they say, oh man, it must be nice. Damn right it's nice. And I earned it. I earned every bit of what I have. That's why I have no shame. If I would have won the lottery and done something like that, that's a different story. I'd probably feel a little guilty. I'd honestly donate most of it to charity because I wouldn't feel like I earned it. I've earned everything I have. And everything I buy it because I can, because it's my money and I can do whatever I want with it. I give a lot to charity. I give a lot back, me and the wife. And I often randomly buy things for myself. And I have no fear that it's going to make anyone else feel bad because they had the same opportunity as me. And they didn't take advantage of it. So that's on them. Too bad. Must be right. Must be nice. Darn right it's nice. I hate that, man. I hate that.
There's so many envious people out there, and we can all just do the same thing. Instead of being envy, how about you reach a hand out and say, hey, help me. Help me. Help me. I like what you have, Akil. How can I be like you? I did the same thing. You know how I got into real estate? How I got into investments? I got into investments because there was a millionaire here in my city that did the same thing. So I went into his office and I said, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to listen to every bit of advice you have. And I still do that to this day. I used to visit him multiple times a week and just sit there and listen to story after story after story, because apparently he's doing something right. He did something right in his life that allowed him to achieve that level of success, and I wanted that. Gosh, now I'm all, God. I need to go do a workout or something now. Yeah, I'm fired up, man. It gets me so upset. Man, I shouldn't care, but I do. Just in my heart, I care. I want everyone to be great. I shouldn't. I know I shouldn't, because it's a waste of time. But hopefully there are a few people out there that will take the words. I know, and it will touch them in a way that makes them want to change what they're doing. And if I can affect one person, then that's enough. Because that one person in time can affect one other person. And then you can go to sleep at night, at least saying you tried. At least you tried. Right? Better try and fail than not try at all. At least you tried.